This is Joe Henry, and if you are still out there, if you are still turning that dial through the screeching void and the howling wind, then you are the reason I am still sitting in this chair. It is the last day. We all felt it when the sun came up this morning, or at least when the sky turned that bruised electric purple that passes for morning now. It didn't feel like a beginning. It felt like the final period at the end of a very long, very messy sentence. I am looking out the reinforced windows of the studio, looking down over a city that used to pulse with light and life, and all I see now is the reflection of those massive, silent shapes hanging in the clouds. They don't even have the decency to make noise anymore. They just hover there, waiting for the clock to run out on a species that spent most of its time worrying about the wrong things. I've got a cup of coffee here. It's cold. The cream has curdled into something gray and uninviting, but I keep sipping it because the ritual feels like an anchor. It's funny what you miss when the world starts to fray at the edges. I don't miss the internet. I don't miss the fast cars or the fancy restaurants. I miss the sound of a neighbor's lawnmower on a Saturday morning. I miss the way the air smells right before a thunderstorm, back when the storms were just water and wind instead of those ionized pulses that scramble your teeth and make the birds fall out of the sky. I've been reading the wire reports, the few that are still trickling in from the autonomous relays. They say the atmospheric processors are at 90% capacity now. They're changing the air, folks, turning it into something we weren't built to breathe. I can feel it in the back of my throat, a metallic tang like I've been sucking on a copper penny. I remember the first day they arrived. We all thought it was a movie. We all waited for the hero to fly up there and deliver the punchline. But there were no heroes, just a lot of confused people in uniforms and a lot of loud noises that didn't do a damn thing. I remember a woman called into this show 3 days ago. Her name was Sarah from down in the valley, and she asked me if I thought they were angry at us. I told her I didn't think they were capable of anger. You don't get angry at the ants when you're building a parking lot. You just move the dirt. That's what we are today. We're the dirt. But even dirt has a story to tell. The power grid is flickering. I can see the lights of the harbor blinking out one by one like eyes closing for a long sleep. The emergency generator downstairs is coughing. It's been a loyal friend, but it's running on fumes and prayers, and I'm fresh out of both. I spent the last hour looking through the old logs of this station. We've been on the air for 64 years. We've survived riots, blackouts, floods, and the slow decay of the radio age. We played the hits. We told you where the traffic was backed up. We told you what the temperature was going to be so you'd know whether to wear a coat. It seems so small now, doesn't it? The height of human civilization was knowing whether or not you needed a sweater. I wonder what they'll find when they finally step into this booth. They won't understand the music. They won't understand why I'm wearing these headphones or why I'm speaking into this silver cone. They'll see the dust and the empty coffee cups and the pictures of my family taped to the monitor. I hope they see the pictures. I want them to see the way we looked when we were happy. I want them to see the way my daughter smiled at her graduation before the sky broke open. I want them to know that we had names. We weren't just a biological hurdle to be cleared. We were architects of dreams. We built cathedrals out of stone and symphonies out of silence. We discovered the secrets of the atom and then used it to kill each other, sure, but we also used it to light up the dark. We were a contradiction, a beautiful, violent, singing mess of a species. I can hear something in the vents now. It's a high-pitched whine, the kind that makes your skin crawl. They're inside the building. I can hear the heavy rhythmic thud of their movement in the corridor. It's not the sound of feet. It's the sound of machinery and intent. They're coming for the transmitter. They want the silence to be absolute. But as long as this light stays red, as long as I'm pushing this signal out into the ether, we are still here. Even if it's just for another 5 minutes, we are the masters of the airwaves. I want to tell you a story for whoever is left to hear it. When I was a boy, my father took me out to the desert to see the stars. There was no light pollution then, just a velvet blanket of black sprinkled with diamonds. He pointed up and told me that every one of those lights was a sun, and every sun might have a world, and every world might have a Joe Henry looking back at us. I spent my whole life believing that. I spent my whole life hoping for a neighbor. It's a cruel joke, isn't it? To finally find out we weren't alone, only to realize the neighbors just wanted the apartment. But I'm not bitter. I can't be. Not anymore. There's no room for bitterness when your lungs are burning and the walls are shaking. The monitors are dying. The static is crawling up the edges of the screens like a digital frost. Outside, the great ships are descending. They're lowering those glowing pillars of light, the ones that turn everything they touch into ash. I can see one landing in the park across the street, the park where I used to eat my lunch and watch the pigeons. The trees are vanishing, not burning, just ceasing to be. It's a very clean kind of destruction, very efficient. They don't like the mess we've made. They're tidying up the planet, but they can't erase the radio waves. These words are traveling out at the speed of light. They're passing the moon right now. They're heading out past Mars, out into the deep dark reaches of the galaxy. Long after this building is gone, long after this planet is a sterile, quiet rock, my voice will still be traveling through the stars. Joe Henry, 104.2 The Peak, talking about the weather and the end of the world. We are immortal in the most literal sense. We are a ghost story told in electromagnetic frequencies. I can see them through the observation glass now. They're tall, taller than any man. They move with a grace that is utterly terrifying, like shadows given weight. One of them is standing right there, looking through the glass at me. It doesn't have a face, not really. It just has a smooth, dark surface where a face should be, reflecting my own terrified expression back at me. It's tilting its head. It's curious. It's wondering why I'm still talking. It's wondering why I haven't run away. Well, here's your answer. You nameless, faceless bastard. I'm not running because this is my home. I'm not running because I have nowhere else to go and I'd rather die in a comfortable chair than in a ditch. And I'm not running because I want you to hear this. I want you to hear the sound of a human being who isn't afraid of you. You can take the air and you can take the land and you can take the lives of every person I've ever loved. But you can't take the fact that we existed. You can't take the music. You can't take the memory of a summer breeze. The glass is starting to crack. The pressure they emit is too much for the old studio panes. I can see the spiderwebs forming, white lines racing across the view of the dying city. It's almost beautiful. It looks like frost on a window pane. It's getting hard to breathe now. The air is thick and tastes like ozone in old batteries. My heart is racing, but my voice is steady. Do you hear that? My voice is steady. To anyone still listening, to the brave souls in the bunkers and the tired families in the basements, hold on to each other. Don't look at the sky. Look at the person next to you. Remember their name. Remember the way they laugh. That is the only thing that matters now. Everything else is just static. The glass is buckling. I can hear the scream of the frame as it twists. It's time to go. I've run out of songs to play, and I've run out of things to say. This is Joe Henry, signing off for the last time. It's been an honor to be in your ears all these years. It's been an honor to be a human being. We were here, don't ever forget that. We were here, and we were loud, and we were loved. The glass is breaking. It's coming down like rain. There goes the light. There goes the signal. I'm going into the static now. I'm going into the white. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.